Now I will tell you briefly how to identify the muscles if only this bit of forearm is given. So first see which side condyle is maximum projecting, and the forearm will be deviated towards the lateral side. So the maximum projecting condyle of humerus is medial epicondyle. So from the medial epicondyle towards lateral side, a group of muscles will arise. These are the flexors. There is another muscle here arising from lateral epicondyle running along the lateral border of the forearm. This is brachioradialis. This belongs to extensor compartment. So don't get confused with brachioradialis and flexor carpi radialis. So you first trace the medial epicondyle. From medial epicondyle start to trace the flexors. So the first lateral most flexor arising from medial epicondyle ending at the middle of the forearm is pronator teres. This is the pronator muscle. This is assisted by another deep pronator called as pronator quadratus. So these two are the pronators which are lying in the flexor compartment. Then there will be two flexors of the wrist. The other name for wrist is carpi because wrist is formed by carpal bones. So one is on the radial side, one is on the ulnar side. The one on the radial side is called as flexor carpi radialis. The one on the ulnar side running along the ulnar border or medial border of the forearm is flexor carpi ulnaris. So these two are wrist flexors. Then there is another vestigious muscle which will extend into the palm, forming palmar aponeurosis. Then we have two flexors for the digits. One will be for the flexion of proximal interphalangeal joint, one will be for the flexion of distal interphalangeal joint. The one that is flexing the proximal interphalangeal joint is flexor digitorum superficialis. The one that is flexing the distal interphalangeal joint is flexor digitorum profundus. Then we have thumb flexor, that is flexor pollicis longus. So now how to identify the muscles I will tell you. First start to trace from the medial epicondyle. The lateral most muscle which ends in the radius mid-third itself is pronator teres. Next to that is flexor carpi radialis. You can trace it going to the lateral side of the wrist. Then palmaris longus. It has got a small muscle belly by a long tendon going to the middle of the wrist. Then you have flexor digitorum superficialis which can be identified by 4 tendons. Then flexor carpi ulnaris. Deep to all these muscles we have flexor pollicis longus and flexor digitorum profundus. Now coming to the wrist. Now how to identify the same in front of the wrist. Order of arrangement of structures at the level of flexor retinaculum from lateral to medial side. So lateral most is radial artery. Next to that is flexor carpi radialis. Then comes the median nerve. Overlapping the median nerve is palmaris longus. Then flexor digitorum superficialis. Medial to flexor digitorum superficialis is ulnar artery, ulnar nerve, then flexor carpi ulnaris. Once again I repeat, from lateral to medial side, radial artery, flexor carpi radialis, median nerve overlapped by palmaris longus, flexor digitorum superficialis, ulnar artery, ulnar nerve, then flexor carpi ulnaris. In this order, if you remember this order, you will never go wrong in identifying the muscles, nerves and blood vessels.